Well, hello once again, everybody. This is Ramblin' Randy sitting down here in the deep piney woods of East Texas, and it has been believe it or not, it's been kind of like a cold day here. It's been like a winter day. I don't know what y'all are experiencing. Now, I've got a few people here on the line with me and got another one that just joined. And I believe that one that just joined happens to be my young lad, and he's sitting in there, so he's going to listen to what's going on, and I'll probably hear about it for the rest of my life. But everybody's mic is hot, so let's remember that. If you need to pick your nose, cough or something, be respectful. If you do cough, I'm going to get a coordinate on you, and I'm going to have the cops over there real quick. We're going to pick you up. Coughing is a felony nowadays. You do that. I've been wanting to go up at Walmart or go up to one of these stores. Seriously, I've been wanting to go up to one of these stores and start coughing in there. I made a joke about that last night. I didn't really do that, but I wanted to do that. The first question I've got for y'all, if you can help me out, can y'all see? Well, no one's on a PC. Everybody's on a. Is there anybody? Can you raise your hand and say hello, amen, or something if you're on a laptop or a PC? No. So no one can see the screen. Well, isn't this just dandy? Because I've spent quite a bit of time here setting up quite the little video presentation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on through as if y'all can see it, so I won't waste all that energy that I put into it, which was terribly expensive and hard for me to do. And I did it on y'all's behalf. If you'd like to see a video, these are actually video conferences that we're doing. And so you can come in on a PC. It's very easy. And you can just use your speakers, or you can, you can either use a mic if you want to talk, or you can just come in off the phone and do it as well. You can also be on a PC and call in on the phone as well. Sometimes that's recommended. I'm going to go into what's called a Q&A mode, and the Q&A is going to block all of y'all from being able to say anything. Matter of fact, let me just test that now, because I'm just getting my my feet wet again with this platform. I've been away from it for quite some time. Could everybody start singing the Star Spangled Banner? Okay, good. That sounds just about as enthusiastic as everybody else is out there, and even though I have y'all on mute, that still is a good analogy. Probably nowadays people don't even know what the how the Star Spangled Banner even goes. Now I am sharing my screen right now for those people who are watching this on a recording, which that's probably what's going to happen with a lot of people, is that they are going to do this on their own time, because not everybody's going to be up at 9 p.m. on Central Standard Time to do this, but they'll catch it during the day or whenever, because it's going to be posted on our own server that we're going to have on Screencast-O-Matic, is where I'm going to keep the inventory, as well as I'll have inventory on the very platform that you're listening to, and they'll also, some of them will be on YouTube. Now, what I'm trying to do here, I'm going to get through a little bit of this basic house cleaning stuff so we can get into what this is really all about. This is a channel that people can come to, be it by telephone or over the internet, and they can sit in with people that are real people that aren't inside the Beltway. They're not. We're just regular people with questions on our mind. I want to know, hell, when I was little, the damn sky didn't look like a checkerboard, period, end of discussion, and there's no one going that regularly up there to Shreveport and Dallas and around, stuff like that. That's a joke. Something's going on, and I want to know about it. That is our right to know. Now, for years, especially for the lad that's sitting here listening, he will validate in a New York second that this isn't the first day that I've got inspired to do this. I have been on a lifelong mission because, number one, I don't, even if you look at my sordid background, you know, there is a little bit of honor among as the old saying goes, thieves. But thieves are a word that's way back there. People wish they had just thieves nowadays, because these people nowadays, can take you with you looking straight at them. I mean, it's just amazing how the magic has progressed since the old days. Again, Laurie's not here, but and I will also be bringing people in on what's called a moderator line, where they can call in and they can sit with me. Because when I'm in a Q&A, is again one of the lads here listening. We might have two of my sons on here tonight. Colton said he might call in too, and so I sometimes have a tendency to drift. Okay, I mean let's just live with it. I mean, that's just the way it is. I'm the one that's got the secret, okay? And I sometimes, I'm terribly baffled at how the river, which I call the same thing as a lot of people from the Southern Baptist kind of upbringing, called the Holy Spirit. Some people call it, Eric Pibbin calls it the in-between, you know, whatever, the zone, the Higgs field, all that stuff. And it would be of good probably a little bit of value to you if you were to watch some of these deals that I've done before, because all that I'm doing here is putting a seriously thick coat of lipstick on that pig. I could tell y'all how you could get slap, silly, energy packed. Now we're going to use code words around here. Energy is synonymous with what you call money, okay? Now, my objective is to get people to where they can go beyond that. And you start realizing through all this that we are creating what we're thinking about. And again, there's two witnesses on here that have heard it a million times. I said around the house, what you think about, you create. Where attention goes, energy flows, and that's the seed of manifestation. Now, I'm telling y'all these things, crazy-sounding things, not just to become the next esoteric guru and go on the circuit. I have no intention of doing that. Believe me. I'm doing it because it is a strategic move that we can make, little warriors, little galactic warriors. If you too, those that are old enough to remember this, should choose to take this mission before this little pocket recorder burns up, it comes laced with a few things you need to do. But if you follow these things, we can help save this country. Is that the craziest thing you've ever heard in your life, someone to say something like that? But for those people who I am fortunate enough to be able to reach, that the words that I speak, laced with some of the silliest stuff you've ever heard in your damn life, laced in there is going to be the pathway out. It's very simple. Very simple. I can tell you in 10 seconds. Get yourself X number of dollars, go over and drop it in a bucket in the corner, tell everybody that you know to do the same thing. Get on down the road, you're now rich. That's the way it used to be. And, you know, every one of these things that's called MLM, that's the way it works. And let me share something with you, which you probably have not done. But join with me and go to my little galactic school of Academy for Manifestics. And a manifestic is a being that can create their own reality from sheer thought. Hello, if you can hear me, guess what? You're doing it yourself right now. There's no other way. It's the only logical thing there is. You know, if I'm going to wake up tomorrow, good hopes that I do, I'm not doing it right now. Oh, wait a minute. Let me give you a better one. If I have decided to wake up and put on a pair of socks tomorrow, I'm not doing it right now. Okay? I have to have an initial thought like the one I just said. When you have that thought, initial thought, and you continue to feed that energy, where attention goes, energy flows, and that's the seed of manifestation, I'm going to have them socks on tomorrow. Very silly analogy. Very silly analogy. But there are those, again, there are those that understand the dynamic of getting someone's attention. Because when you get someone's attention, a preacher can get your attention. You might consider that that's an honorable thing to do if they get your attention. Next thing you know, you walk in the aisle. I don't think they walk the aisle anymore. We used to have to get out in that aisle and make that walk. It's like the Green Mile. But hey, it wasn't the Green Mile, because at the end of the walk was eternity forever. So some would say, be careful, Randy. And I am. Listen, those lads that are on this phone, they'll tell you right now straight up that the one speaking to you right now, not only can I tell you that Zacchaeus climbed a sycamore tree to see Jesus go by on a donkey, I can tell you how many limbs and leaves are on that sycamore tree, because my parents used to play big LPs, if you can remember what those are. LPs of Bible study, Bible stories, every single night when I went to bed. Okay? So I'm pretty well versed in that arena, and that's all we'll touch on religion right now, because we got a lot to cover. Short time to get there. By the way, that time is in November of this year when we make that election. I like things the way they used to be. Back when people and the powers that should not be had us in a real state of calmness, most of the sheeple. Totally under the ether. And everything's peaches and cream. But then along comes Yellowhead. Yellowhead knows. He knows, as many of us do, is that when Amschel Rothschild told his 5 sons, you go out there and you find me something that we can give to the minions that they desperately want, that will help our agenda without them knowing it, and we can win any battle, especially when we take it away. Hello. So along comes Lyndon B. Remember him? Lyndon B. Johnson? Along comes Lyndon B. And he decides we got to get a little bit of control of these people. We're going to have to do it in a subtle way. Now, where did I read this? Let's just give them something that they all want. Let's just start some little bit of austerity programs. Let's start a little food stamp program, a little bit of this, that, and the other, and let's get them all taking that morphine money. And there starts the ball rolling. What we are going to be doing and teaching is we're starting a culture, people. Here, those that are brave enough to run with me. And let me tell you something right now. There is no reason. There isn't a way, period, that this particular strategy could not be 100% successful if implemented. Let me tell you where I'm standing, sitting, what I'm doing. Imagine this. Picture yourself with this yoke on your shoulders. You have the simplest pathway out. Ockman would be proud of you. Who is that? Ockman's razor is a litmus test that people have used forever. And it clearly states that there is a multitude of options to achieve the same end. For goodness sake, take the easiest one, as long as it's ethical and within line. And I would add to that now a fair exchange of value. So, being that I am a product of the late 60s and 70s, I am a hippie. Did you know that you are too? You're a hippie. If you're not, I don't know why I'm talking to you. Because a hippie is a highly intelligent person pursuing individual enlightenment. Doesn't that fit your mode, you old hippie you? So we're all one of the most powerful tools that we can use against our adversary, which also resides between your ears. It isn't their problem. It's inside of between each one of our ears. Nobody's going to put paint on your canvas unless you allow it to. Allow them to. You have to allow permission to put paint on your canvas, to create your own universe. You have to allow it in. You know, I remember, there was a cab driver over in Jamaica one time. They're all talking about them people doing voodoo and all that stuff. I had to see this. I wanted to see some chickens upside down on a string, blood everywhere, and the natives wearing them. You know, they're natives over there, the native Jamaicans, wearing white shirts with rolled up like Marlon Brando, blood all over them. They're sweaty looking. They're dancing around a fire. I had to see one. So this cab driver told me he'd carry me up there. Here we go. He said, "This is as far as I'm going to carry you." He said, "It's about a half mile up that road." It's already about midnight. There's no snakes over there. I got a lot of mongoose, so it didn't worry me. Don't like snakes. But anyway, I went up there, had a half gallon with me. Back in the days I used to drink. And got up there, and there they were, man. They was up there, and they were dancing, and it was wild. Shiny faces, fire, no chickens, though. Started to ask about that. I just grabbed a 5-gallon bucket and sat down there with them. They was voodooing to high heaven. I'm talking about serious voodoo. And none of it got on my canvas. Why? I'm not into that. You know, it doesn't matter for me. That last phrase that I just made is probably one of the most important phrases that are something that you'll get to be familiar with if I'm watching the clock, everybody. I'm not going to run long. Try to stay about an hour. But in the future, we're going to keep this thing open 24/7. Where people can call in, and after they get this orientation business, we'll get down to what this thing's really all about, and it's not about me. It's about everybody sharing up there what's going on. But I'm giving all of y'all, or am I going to have to be, oh my God, my point people. You know, this is what the foundation of this is, and it's been mandated to me from the river. Remember, that's what I call my in-between, my Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call it. I call it the river. That there's certain things that have to be done for this thing to manifest in our reality. Matter. When someone says, that just doesn't matter for me, that's the proper way of saying it, because if something matters, it means it's in form. Something doesn't matter for me. Something that doesn't matter to me is not the proper Queen's English, if you're talking esoteric. Get your English straight in the esoteric deal. But in reality is this. I'm going to tie that back into this thought thing I was telling you about, where attention goes, energy flows. That's the seed of manifestation. And again, myself and many others, and it's factual that thought does, in fact, have tangible matter inside of a thought. So you take that into consideration and you leave your quantum at the door and everything that's associated with it, and you look and start delving into scalar theory, and you'll see that you hear all these things about people. Well, nothing touches, by the way, at least quantum and scalar harmonize with that. Nothing touches. Is that there isn't anything, any two different molecules or particles, whatever. Not particles. All those things don't touch. Nothing touches. Isn't that wild? And it doesn't make any difference how close you get, because it's not close enough. I'm telling you, it's crazy. At least that's what we're buying into now. Whatever. That's the gig. Nothing touches. So when you understand that thought has matter, and that where attention goes, energy flows, that's the seed of manifestation. And you understand scalar. Scalar is when you can have a thought, and this thought that you have when you're dreaming or something, it's a full-blown dream. You know, those thoughts are full-blown, and they're there. You're there. So you are manifesting this vision that you see, but actually what it is a Google, that's a number, by the way, of thought scalar wavelengths that are locked together in a pattern that eventually will be this pen right here on this table. And when you do that, and your intentions create what we see. Now, this is real deep stuff that I'm not going to drag off into this, but it is interesting just to let you know that as I still sit on 5-gallon buckets, I've done a little research on this. It's going to be an interesting journey, if nothing else. And I'm going to follow that up by saying, in true reality, when someone understands what I'm doing, we get through all this, my objective is to use soft magic on every one of y'all. What is that? That is creating beyond the headlights. Picture yourself in the high desert. It's midnight. Your headlights work pretty good. Suggest all 4 are working well or you'll get pulled over. But your headlights are working well and you can see, but way out there you can't see any further. You know the road's still there, but you can't see any further. You're comfortable with that and you drive into whatever's over there. What's taking place right now is that those beings, other humans, that have caught on to this gig of understanding, if you can get everyone's attention pointed this direction, get them thinking where attention goes, energy flows, we can manifest this situation to where before it's over with, they're going to be asking us to lock them up. I ain't not bullshit. I'm not kidding you. That is how it comes down. Now, that's quite a bold statement. Well, let me tell you this. There are those on this phone again, if they're still here. I don't know. I can't see the panel now. That I have set up, I'm very familiar with this kind of thing, and sometimes a scenario could take 4 to 6 months to set up. These people have been working on this for 150 years. My hat is off to them. My hat is off to them. This is straight up black magic. Black magic is not a fair exchange of value. It's totally greed-based. And it's evil, when you get to that level. But you can operate in a society based on a fair exchange of value, and that's exactly the culture that we're going to be teaching. And I'm going to move over into that softer area now. But before I leave the Waterloo, that's where it all started. Is that the situation that we're involved with right now, people? They're using us. We're set up inside of Mary Kay. Herbalife. What's another big one? Send me one, Angel. An MLM. Shackley, thank you. A big one. Everybody knows Mary Kay and Amway. They've heard of those things. Those are exponential growth business models that is based on you telling someone to do this, that, and the other. Works real well. Word of mouth works real well. If you don't believe me, are you locked down yet? Oh, hell. That's all word of mouth. Are you there? I do have some friends. I do believe that have got it. It is a real virus. And I tell you that it's killing people. A lot of people died at Pearl Harbor. 3,000 died at Twin Towers. I said, I don't think in my lifetime I'll ever see anything that can eclipse that. Well, I just did. It was orchestrated. If the other one would have gotten in, things would have been a whole lot different now. There had been a false flag war. This financial system that they have raped us since Crazy Woody Wilson, topping it off with Tricky Nicky in '71, coming off the gold standard. They have literally raped us hundreds of trillions of dollars. Anybody in the right mind that understands exponential growth and that business model is stated on their website, people, go look. It clearly states that we are inside of a 1x10 force matrix with unlimited breakaway. For people that understand that dynamic, very few do. And it's called a fractional reserve banking system. And when those people, I'll show everybody how you can stack up more coins than you ever thought in your lifetime. And I will love to show you how to do it, and I would like for you to stack as many as you can. Get the biggest house on the shiniest hill behind this. Because your byproduct is going to be helping me save this lifestyle that I love here in the United States of America. How can you say that? When you water the horses and you feed them well, they run better. And you know what? I hadn't seen a sheep, or especially sheep, that if you've got a handful of food, they just won't follow you around like little puppies and kittens. This system is designed, I guess, kind of inspired by Eddie McGuire. Show me the money. I understand that. Vividly do I understand that, because I've been on both sides of the fence. I'm at such a point on life's ladder, I want to do something good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give everybody this platform. For those of you that have a screen, you're looking at it, you're staring at it right there on the screen. It's called the Rabbit Hole Herald. Back to the word of mouth deal. In my evangelical days, yep, sure did. I helped drag a cross from Longview, Texas to Dallas. We were all in the Jesus movement back in the late 60s, early 70s. Oh, boy. That's great. But I went to a football stadium where a preacher had them turn out all the lights, and the whole place was packed. And he said, this is what spreading the word's like. And he had 2 candles. And he went over there, and everybody in the whole place had been given a candle. And he had these little royal ambassadors, probably, little upstarts to the Illuminati's Shriners. But anyway, they walked him over there. He had a lot of background, hadn't he? Yes, I have. They walked over there with the little candles, and they lit those candles. They helped 2 people. One person light the candle and told that person to go around, turn around and light someone else. And it swept that stadium with them lights off, and that impressed me quite a bit about exponential growth. So, we live inside of one of those. The problem with an exponential growth business model is that you're literally robbing Peter to pay Paul. And it is a heyday for the boys up there where the eye's at on top of that puppy. And about 3 or 4 levels down, y'all are going to get a Cadillac. The rest of you are sucking air. I'm just telling you. And after a while, and Bob and Susie can't even afford to get on the dog to go to the convention so they can watch what's his name go across the stage. It made $3 million last year. And clap for him. And by God, just hope they can get close enough to touch his garment. That's how networking goes. So it's powerful. The problem is it's not a fair exchange of value. The people creating the real value, the people that are on that dog going to the convention, that are in there throwing the coal to it to keep that machine running. The trick is get the people on the dog the same opportunity, be riding in the Cadillac that day, just for showing up, that they could, if they are innately stored value inside of them. That means have a little lick of sense about something that a whole bunch of people would like to have an answer to. Here we go, people. And so let's just say that convention there is they borrowed the money to get there, to go up there to see Big Shot walk across the stage for $3 million, but they didn't know this, because this is what would happen in our scenario. What if they say, does anybody have anything real prophetic to say to the 1 million people sitting in here or listening? And this little guy that just got off the bus, he walks up on that stage, and he says, I do, and he lays out what he's going to say, and the whole place erupts. And the guy on the stage, the MC, says, let's dust him. Let's show him a token of our appreciation for the value that we gained from what you just said. That's going to enrich us. Let us all just give you a gift from our heart of a penny, nickel, dime, or a quarter. If you got a quarter, that's $250,000 that old Woodchuck just got. By the way, Mr. Attorney General, he was the last person that came in. Do you have any other questions for me, Mr. Attorney General? If not, I'm going to be on my way. You cannot even imagine how elated I was when the ambient in the river gave me that golden key. You probably do not even comprehend what I just told you. If you need to, you can go back and listen to this thing again, because it is being recorded, and I sure hope that I hit the right button. This isn't my first rodeo, but I will say this, is that I have been, no, here comes something else. I have been known to not hit the button. I've just hit the wrong button, so those people that are looking at a screen, that's, by the way, I'll just tell you what this is. Now, I will teach you how to do this as well. This is my recording, it went away. My recording studio, how I record videos go up on YouTube, and I'd like to show y'all exactly how to do the same thing as well. I'm going to look at this real quick. Ah, yes, we have quite the crowd, Some of y'all are probably on the screen. You're watching this, so let me share that screen again. How fun. And where was that? And that's another thing. It doesn't even really matter for me where we're at as far as all this data that I'm going to be giving you, because eventually the light's going to go off and you're going to see, really, it's fun listening to him, but is it absolutely necessary for my end objective? Now that might take a while for you to think into too, but I spend a lot of time and I spend a lot of energy. Remember, we have code words to have made this become a reality, and I'm going to give it to you. You could buy a Bentley, because in order for you to be able to get the keys to the gate, the Golden Gate, get the house on the hill, you're going to have to listen to the Constitution in ebook form. You're going to have to watch a short little video by Mike Maloney on how they've been opening up the umbrella inside of us without any Vaseline for the last 150 years, and it's coming to an end, and you're living it right now. You're going to watch a little video called All Wars Are Bankers' Wars. And when you do, you're going to let me know. Everything is going to be basically on the transparency and truth side, because the only way this is truly going to work for you is you're going to have to fall into harmony with me. You'll find that that's a universal principle. There isn't, probably you might have wondered in the old days why the people would come in front of the king and they'd kneel and that he would tap them with that sword, or a father would bless the child as they went off on their life. They gave them a blessing. That's a spiritual axiom, meaning that I pass the ownership on to you if you'll be a good steward. This isn't a home-based business. I'm not doing this to enrich myself. It will be nice to reap the rewards of the value that I pose and present to our community. That's the only way that I will render any additional energy for my journey. Remember our code words for energy. If I don't produce value that is recognized by our community, Zippo. I'm going to work real hard for you. Because I want this to work real well for me. We're a long ways from it, but there will be those in short order that will reach a point called cascade. Cascade is where the people on the bus coming to the convention, you reach a point, you're walking the big stage, you're the one that got them involved. Somehow they got to talk to the big dog and he threw the juice on them and they came in with his magic. Well, it's at some point you reach a point where you're not giving any value for the amount of work that you're putting forth if you're a big shot. And anything beyond that point would not be a fair exchange of value. There's a point that I call cascading. If there's any form of outside of the true capitalist business model, it might be this, because this is going to become an ethical issue. Jamie Dimon is not worth 1,000 times more money a year than the highest paid teller at Chase Manhattan. If you don't know who Jamie is, find out. His little business is going to suffer greatly here real soon. Even though Yellowhead had him up there at the Washington, I saw that. We've got a few more minutes. I'm watching the clock so y'all don't lose interest. There's nothing like somebody who loses interest in someone trying to tell them that if you truly do want that big old boat and that house and the cabin and everything, you're going to have to help me save this country. And I'll show you. Simple as pie. And all you really have to do is this. And I'll wrap this up with this, I think. Maybe, no, I'm not. I've got a couple of things I want to go over with y'all about this platform. All that you have to do is listen to what I'm saying to you on a regular basis. Tell other people to do the exact same thing. Tell us what's on your mind in your neck of the woods on the Rabbit Hole Herald. You'll be a member and you can post over there. When you build a rapport with our group as it grows, and I'm counting on you to grow it with me, I can't do it all. I need 1 million minds. We get to 1 million minds, then my objective, my agenda is that we, the people, we may only be throwing pennies at stuff, but when we got 5 million people and they throw a dime because someone's having a problem at a courthouse trying to change our Constitution somewhere slowly, and they know that they can do what's called paper in that small little group, or they don't have the advertisement like the others do to counter, the move. We do. With 5 million people, or 1 million people, we drop a penny on them. Bingo. We win. So there's real method behind all this for me. That's what I'm in it for. The Federal Reserve Bank that we have now is a Ponzi. And it doesn't give anyone that just came in, and every time you buy something, you're re-upping. That's your aloe vera juice. You just bought some more product. It doesn't make any difference. We're in it. We're in this thing. Yellowhead's trying to change that. Now, I'm going to drift over into that other, so y'all kind of get an idea about this platform thing. If you'll come back, it'll snap on you. But I'm going to say this, nothing in the world, in this whole world is free. Nothing. If you want to make a change, you want to see something work for you, you're going to have to get involved. How can you get involved with something from a distance? You can infuse your essence into it in the form of a penny, nickel, dime, or quarter. When you do that, everything changes. Walk down the street, do this. Next time there's a sporting event or something, walk down the street with a friend, it's halftime, and y'all don't have anything on the game. Just turn to say the other guy, well, I'll take this team, you take this, it's halftime. I'll take this team, you take that, and let's bet a penny. Just a single penny changes the whole dynamic because there's skin in the game. There's skin in the game. We started a project real quickly called the X and O Oracle about 10 years ago. And I was trying to understand and get a handle on what's called bending a binomial curve. That is group conscious, okay? That is where you're looking beyond the headlights. You're creating beyond the headlights. You're trying to determine what something is before it gets here. Okay, what we did is we took 10 random generators, and we pitted those 10 random generators against 10 other random generators. We programmed them to do analog. By the way, everything in the whole world is analog. It's not digital, it's analog. So we programmed 10 of them to compete with each other, and they only had an X and an O. And so when one of the people would say they would try to predict what it was going to be, and if it was a match, it was a 0. If it was an odd, it would be an X. And so they tried to go through a set of 10, all 10 of those, without getting an X, or to be able to determine whether it was going to be odd or even, X or O was going to win. There were no consequences. I would pose questions, we'd do all sorts of things, but there was no consequences. I set them up just like I did you people. I gave every single one of y'all, if you look in your little account, every one of y'all have got 500 pennies, spelled P-E-N-E-Es, in your little account. That's a gift from me to grease the wheels so y'all can start seeing how this dynamic works. And then you'll be able to come from a position of truth and honesty that you, in fact, know. It's what I call know what Ruth's Chris steak tastes like. You know, that's a real famous steakhouse down here. And people say, oh man, that Ruth's Chris steak sure is good. But they've never been there. But you can honestly say what it tastes like once you've tasted it. So once you get an idea here for it, of the mechanics, it will be like paper trading. There's no consequences there, but at least you're going to get the dynamic. And then in the not too distant future, you're going to need to infuse your own energy, your own money into this, because here's why. I've learned something. From the X and O oracles, I had about 30, 40 people. We were doing this regularly, and they were bending the binomial curve, meaning that they went through several thousand hands, or what we call decisions. Is it going to be an X? Is it going to be an O? And they went through thousands and thousands of decisions without busting because you go in what's called martingale. You go. If they miss the first one, they can parlay up. So if they put one credit, we called it, up, and the first one was wrong, they can put up 2 credits. Doubling up is what you'd know it as. Doubling up. It's called martingale. And by the time you get to 10, you've got 12, if memory serves me correct, 1,200 and something to 1 against you if you lose that top one. They were smoking through that thing. They'd be at 9, some of them. They'd have a 900 or whatever, 512 or whatever it is, 512, 1,024 up there. If they lost, it's going to lose 2,024 of the credits, but they didn't have any skin in the game. And they were blowing it out of the water. I said, here's what we're going to do. And I went out and I found a denominator out there that we could use that could be below a penny, and I was first introduced to Bitcoin. That's how I got involved with Bitcoin. And we bought Bitcoin back in the day at $35 a Bitcoin. And the only reason, because you could denominate it down under a penny, and I'll be finished here shortly. So you can denominate it down under a penny. So they really didn't have any real skin in the game, but they had their own cheese in it. Even though a little bitty one, they had cheese in it. The people were busting. They were getting afraid to go past the 5 progression because it was their skin. But they were blowing through it like crazy when there was no consequences. So I analyzed that. It was the damnedest thing that I'd ever seen. Mario, a guy from Chicago, I even called Dean Radin, got a hold of him. He's a big cyclical person. Dean Radin wrote a book, several books, Dean Radin. He's off into cycles, and I play Baccarat, and I'm into cycles too. So numbers always have fascinated me. But that was amazing how they bent the binomial curve. And by binomial, let me explain that to you. The world's in chaos. Period. We live in a world of control chaos, of control randomness. We do. But everything is on a cycle. That's crazy. It's an oxymoron. It's a yin yang. Cycles, but chaos. And so when you're able to bring normalcy into chaos, it's called bending a binomial curve. And when you can see and you can predict with certainty, to a degree, what if it's going to be an X or O outcome, you've just started putting order into chaos. So again, the old boy on the 5-gallon bucket down there in East Texas, got a couple things to say. But y'all are just going through manifestic school here, and it gets real fun later because I'll throw this stuff in later. But so now what I understand is this: is that I can give you these little pennies that you can go in and you can be tipping everybody. And I want y'all to do that. I'm going to get a hold of everybody that signed up. The first 100, I'm going to give 500 pennies, spelled P-E-N-E-Es. Why P-E-N-E-Es? Because 100 pennies, P-E-N-E-Es, equals a pen, a P-N. 1 pen equals $1 US. And so $1 US has inside of it 100 pennies, P-E-N-N-Y. Now there's method behind that madness too, because we will be making a commitment. Let me go to that again. So from the experience that I had with the X and O oracles is that people could do this like crazy and there was no consequences. Y'all are going to do the same thing with my cheese tomorrow. So you can get the feel for it. Then you're going to be at a crossroads. If this is going to work for you, you're going to have to be infused into this. Those people that you're going to show a token of appreciation for them, send them a TOA, a token of appreciation, or a penny, P-E-N-E-E, you're going to be sending not a lot of skin off your nose, but you're spiritually going to be entangling consciously with that individual because you have just put part of your energy into their world. Are you with me? Give me an amen. Amen. That's exactly what happens. We can sit here and say that we do support Rex Bear. We can say that we do support Jimmy Church, Clyde, whoever you watch. And by the way, some of you people have given me some good leads. And let me tell you about that. Let me follow up on this and continue on this and lead into that. Is that when someone comes and you're sitting there soaking up this valuable content that costs them their own energy, remember what energy is, code word, which is not really a code word. It is, well, we'll talk about that too later, what energy really is. They're really after our energy. That's our thoughts and our creativity. That's what they're trying to do. That's a horse, that's another story, but we'll talk about it. So, shoot it to me, Angel. Where was I at? Okay, so when we come in here and you're sitting there soaking up all this information that all these hosts are giving you, that they're going out there and they're selling hats, T-shirts, cups, mugs, and I know them. What I did before I launched this, I went to see them first before I just started something like craziness, even though I've been through mortal hell to get this thing out. Programmers probably listening right now, and I'm telling you straight up, it's been. But if it was easy, everybody'd do it. If you make a commitment not to quit, you don't quit. I'm asking you to make a commitment. If you want the house on the hill, I can get you there, but you're going to have to work with me. You're going to have to help me save this country. You're going to have to go out and tell everybody that this cat's for seriously real, and all we got to do is listen to him. That's all you've got to do, is just tell other people to listen to me. Tell them to join and come listen to me. The free ride's going to be over here in a little bit, but the reason for it is this. When you start tipping somebody, here's what I'm trying to do. I get 1 million people, I can beat Sophia. What did he say? I said I can beat Sophia. Sophia is an AI robot that Saudi Arabia bought. And the only way Sophia can make, and she's faster than any human could be, but a human, not 1 million humans. Because everything that Sophia does, it has to be uploaded to her. okay? And there's a lots of Mickeying that can go on, even though it's happening at a nanosecond speed. That's still a weak link they've got. When I've got 1,000,000 minds and I post an analog decision, that bad boy is going to be as correct as humans can make it. Yes, no. XO. Sophia can't beat us. So when people are worried about AI and all that bullshit, and all that stuff that's going on out there like that, let me tell you something that I feel in my heart. We've got a lot of receptors that we haven't fired up on our little strand inside of us. We're only using a fraction of our RAM, random access memory. Believe it or not, we're electronic computers. If by starting to dabble our toes into these areas that I'm discussing with you here now, where attention goes, energy flows, the seed of manifestation, we're creating everything that we see, it might just fire up a little something up in there that hadn't been ever used, a little juice that goes over and does something. Next thing you know, we done fired up another one of them receptors, and by God, that AI Sophia is probably will sell at Walmart next week for $5. Because the humans will be rising again. I hold that to be true. A damn lizard can grow its tail again. We're going to figure this thing out. But first of all, another thing is that fun is probably one of the most powerful tools and weapons that you can use against something like you're facing right now. Just laugh. Laugh at the damn thing. I mean, what's the worst case scenario? You die? Well, let me share something with you. Die standing up. Or whatever. I mean, proud. I'll take one for you. And be glad to. We'll talk about my little take on all that stuff as well. It's all based on decisions. It's all based on decisions. If you're 51% over on the good side, when you go through the portal, the exit portal, going up another portal again, you're going to be leaning to the good side. Does that take a rocket scientist to figure that out? Oh, but you got to walk that aisle. Okay. But the bottom line is, after walking the aisle or not, if you stack up more good stuff on the left side, when you go through that exit portal over there, if my theory is right, which I think it is, you're going to shoot off to the left side there, which is the good side. Isn't that good? Doesn't that make you feel better? I go out there and find somebody and tell them to come over here and listen to this, and they can get as much energy as they ever use in their life and energy for their kids if they'll help me save this country. I can do this with your help, and only with your help. Didn't get to show a single slide, but I've got a show coming up here I like to watch. Would you please share this with everybody that you know? Remember this, everything that let me follow it up with this right here. It costs a fortune to do this. And when you make a commitment, let's just use a round number. Let's say there's 1,000 of us. And bear in mind, I'm not taking a penny. Doing all this, setting all this up for y'all. I'm not taking a penny. Unless I give value, you recognize it, and I get a penny. Let's just say there's 1,000 of us. And let's say 1,000 of us lob, let's see, $30 in the kitty, all of us. Can you do the math? If you didn't take Common Core math classes, then you'll know that means $30,000. You can come to the river with a coffee cup, or you can come to the river with a wash tub. It's your choice. That analogy is this: you can get as much as that $30,000 as value you have inside. And it can only be given by you and the others to each other. To each other. So you've got, if we had 1,000 people tomorrow and everybody lobbed in 30, you'd have $30,000 that y'all could all go hustle to find some good content and good data, because I got a lot of questions I want to ask you people, and I'll be slinging pennies out, and maybe more, to get them answers. I want them answers. And so what I've just done here is I've put sugar on the carrot to get people to come over here and listen to the Constitution. Watch a little movie about how we've been getting raped and see how all wars are bankers' wars, and we just use their tools against them because we lit the candles this time. But all of the value, the energy, went back to the people holding the candles. Can I get an amen? I'm going to sign off. But remember this. Once a person who has been honestly mistaken all of their life learns the truth, they either cease to be mistaken or they cease to be honest. Now that you've heard a little bit, I'm going to follow it up with this. What say you? If you think that I've got a lick of sense, let me just tell you this. It isn't by chance that I didn't get to launch this thing on the timing that I wanted to. I'm launching now because it won't be too long according to the way their little scenario's going. A lot of people going to be at home. A lot of people going to be concerned about what's going on in their friends' and families' lives. A lot of people that we may be talking to might, unfortunately, get the bug or something. They'd like to reach out and talk to some people that they know closely and that they can communicate with, and we've got the tool for them to do that. This isn't a joke, people. This is not a game. We'll wrap that up. Go out tomorrow. Have a wonder-filled day. It is by choice. Smile at a stranger, and I'll catch y'all on the flip side. This is Ramblin' Randy. We be down. Bye, y'all. Get me 10 people over here tomorrow. See y'all later. Let me see how I can shut this off. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Bye.